Northern Vermont University, along with Castleton University and Vermont Technical College, will soon have the same name if trustees adopt a recommended moniker. I went around the Linden campus earlier today to figure out where Linden students stand on the matter.
And the name that we would like to put up for consideration very much is Vermont State University.
That news was dropped on students, faculty, staff, community members, and alumni at Tuesday's Board of Trustees meeting. The Vermont State Colleges system has been looking to merge Northern Vermont University, Castleton University, and Vermont Technical College into one entity since February. But there is some hesitancy at the board level and in the NVU communities to make another brand shift.
We could hardly say due northeast, south, and west, But there was something, at least over here on my side of the state, that worked very, very well about due north.
I don't regret saving it one bit.
Patrick Wickstrom is the Linden student who started a petition to save the Vermont State Colleges last spring. Since then, he has served on multiple university committees to revitalize NVU.
What I do somewhat have a regret of, because I was on one of the committees that voted for this proposition, is not allowing myself to vote for this proposition, to be quite honest.
First year and early college student Natasha Bowen says she came to NVU Linden because it was close to home and it was the small community she was looking for.
So I think that why are students choosing this campus might change, what's keeping them here type of thing.
But not all hope is lost. Recent Linden alumni are taking to Facebook to express their support for the new university model. 2021 grad Kelsey Emery said, quote, "Honestly, NVU students have already been through a merge and are just looking forward to a new sense of unity." Lauren Hyde wrote, "We either work as a team or fail as a team." The Board of Trustees is traveling around the state colleges and holding public input sessions before they vote on the new name. Yesterday, they visited the NVU Johnson campus. Today, Linden. The board will be visiting Castleton University tomorrow, followed by Vermont Tech in Randolph on Monday. Tuesday, the plans are to visit CCV virtually through Zoom calls and visit Vermont Tech in Williston in the afternoon. A virtual public listening session is scheduled for Wednesday, September 29th. The trustees are expected to vote on Vermont State University at their next meeting.
It's applying what you learned.
Forums and Zoom links for feedback on the new, on the new brand are available online and can be used upcoming. The the Vermont State Trustees will be voting October 25th. That is when everybody has time to vote. Until then, Vision Point Marketing are expected to move forward with other brand ideas. Do you like cream and sugar in your coffee? That's a question locals can answer as they walk through the doors of fan favorite Locally Social Coffee, which now has a new look. We stopped by the coffee shop earlier this week for their grand reopening and spoke to the owners about how this supportive community has made their dream a reality.
Our previous location worked out fantastic, however we didn't own it. And the dream of every entrepreneur is to own their own spot, and this opportunity came along. We are lucky in the sense of my husband / co-owner Ian is a builder prior to being a barista, and he did the bulk of the work, the bulk of the vision.
For 7 weeks, Locally Social Coffee in St. Johnsbury has been closed for a move from Memorial Drive to Portland Street. The former gas station has been abandoned since 2007, seeing new life after Carrie and Ian moved in. Before they were making coffee, Carrie ran a tanning salon for 11 years.
And it kind of happened on a fluke. We had a friend looking for a good cup of coffee, and we didn't really know where to send them. Based on that location, there wasn't any coffee close. So I looked at Ian and I said, "Any chance you could put in a little just coffee station for me?" And he's like, "Oh, I could put you in something, but it's going to be serious."
The tanning salon became dual-focused, also serving coffee for a few years before diving headfirst into the caffeine.
Once the coffee got busy enough and we built it up enough and gotten those regulars that you really need, we were able to kind of push the tanning out the door, and then we just expanded the coffee. And that was in 2015. And then here we are in 2021 in the new location, coming up on our 10-year anniversary this March.
In those 10 years, Locally Social has built a loyal following of customers. Set to open at 6:30 a.m. Tuesday morning, the Carlettes found themselves brewing coffee 10 minutes early. With lines out the door several times during the day, Carrie says she's thankful to the community she's come to love so much.
We've developed a good rapport with a lot of people over the years, and we know them by name, they're friends. That's what happens in the small town, though, is customers aren't customers. They become your friends, and they truly support and believe in you. We tend to know a lot of people's drinks. You can see a car pulling in and have their drink done before they walk in the door sometimes. The locals are what keep you going and what motivate you, and you just feel the love.
Thanks, Eugene.
Bye.
Take care.
This journey in 2012, Carrie and Ian have run the business completely by themselves. Carrie told us this is because they can rely on one another to prioritize customer service and give back to the community that has given them so much. Members of the Peacham Historical Association have been hard at work over the last year putting together their latest book. Publications are the association's main source of income, and it's a rewarding way to educate the public on Peacham's rich history. To recognize the 100 years since PHA's founding, Preserving Peacham's Past was written. This book was recognized by the Vermont Historical Society with an award of excellence. And while this is not the first time it has won an award for a book, and hopefully not the last, Utah Scott told News 7 it makes the writing journey more meaningful.
For us, it's not just the recognition, it's good publicity, and it obviously sort of tells everyone who worked on the book that the book was worth the award.
Preserving Peacham's Past features 100 historical items of the town, which Scott admits was a challenge to whittle down. She told News 7 she wouldn't be surprised if there was a second edition in the future. The award-winning collection can be purchased from the association's website at peachamhistorical.org. The town of Linden approves a few local organizations to stand on the road and collect loose change every year. This weekend, a dozen volunteers for the Cobley Library took to the streets. All change collected this weekend is going toward the Bookmobile program. The program can be dated back to 1999 when the children's librarian delivered stories out of her own car. Now, the Bookmobile can be found delivering books to child care centers and schools.
We weren't able to hold it last year because of the pandemic, but in general, probably about $1,700 is what we budget. The library's Bookmobile is entirely grant and donation funded. None of the public support that we receive from the town of Linden goes toward that.
The funds raised will help pay for new books, gas, repairs, and staffing hours. Any donations to the Bookmobile can be made at the library in cash or check forms. The state has stepped in to help several organic dairy farms in Vermont after Horizon Organic decided to back out of the Northeast. The Vermont Agency of Agriculture has created a task force to help these farmers come up with a plan. Serving on the task force are representatives from the Vermont Farm Bureau, the Northeast Organic Farming Association, and various lenders, grain dealers, processors, and farmers themselves. While Horizon has given farmers a year to figure things out, Secretary Anson Tebbets says 1 year is not a long time.
Horizon has given our farmers until next August to find new buyers. We believe we have to move much quicker than that. So we have to come up with potential solutions, options for our 28 farmers.
The task force hopes to provide some solutions by midwinter. People will be stopping in East Burke because they have to. A new traffic pattern has been created where the East Darling Hill Road meets the Burke Hollow Road. The intersection has been repaved and converted into a three-way stop. Locals have taken to Facebook to express their concern with traffic getting backed up on the bridge toward town and how this new traffic pattern will affect traffic in the peak of biking season. Kingdom Trails has a trailhead right next door to this intersection, and in addition, a bike path going up East Darling Hill has been widened. Peacham has been looking to change one of its intersections since last spring, and now those plans are falling into place. Where County Road meets Maple Tree Lane, there's a sharp turn that large vehicles simply cannot make. The town proposed a change to the intersection in the spring, but ran out of time to see it through due to some challenging paperwork. Now that everything is in order, the process restarted with a site hearing and select board meeting last night. The select board accepted the survey presented and is finally ready to build.
The town has to build it. It's a Class 3 road. It has to be built to Class 3 state standards. And that involves a lot of materials that the town will be bringing in and spreading and all that.
It is now up to the landowner and road foreman on when the construction will take place. The new road must be built before the old one can be torn up, and there's a limited amount of time before the ground freezes over. With the gift-giving season coming up, craft shows are starting to take a festive turn. Lyndonville Agway is known to host numerous craft fairs and markets throughout the year. The first weekend of the Holiday Craft and Specialty Food Festival brought around 10 local vendors to the greenhouse out back. Customers wandered up and down the aisle browsing homemade soap, jewelry, baked goods, and much more. Some vendors attend every craft fair they can in the area, and others use this opportunity to get their start. Melissa Fournier has set up shop at 2 craft fairs in recent months and says the support she gets from other crafters in the community makes her work worthwhile.
People definitely do like personalized and something that you can't find in the stores. Or you can, and it's just a ridiculously amount versus supporting your small business and it's cheaper.
Even when local traffic slows down, Fournier told News 7 that vendors go out of their way to support each other. Lyndonville Agway will host its Holiday Craft and Food Festival again on December 11th and 12th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. A long-standing Lyndonville building may face demolition pending board approval tonight. Kennen Metal moved from Main Street, Lyndonville to Massachusetts in June 2014. The closure of the facility not only cost the town of Lyndon over 70 jobs, but created a huge deficit for Lyndonville Electric and the town water department. 7 years later, Kennen Metal is looking for permission to demolish the building. Should this be approved by the Lyndon Development Review Board, the Robert Bosch Corporation, owners of the property, are looking to restore the land for potential future use. We will have an update on this story come Monday. A new coffee stop has popped up in East Burke, and it might venture to a location near you. Single Track Coffee finally opened this weekend after experiencing numerous delays in the supply chain. Owner Nick Russa says he's always loved coffee, and opening this trailer gives him the perfect opportunity to work with other local businesses and interact with the community.
I got the mobile trailer idea actually on a trip out to Oregon about 8 years ago, and I saw one out there and thought it would be just such a good fit for this area. All the trails and the mountain and just different sort of outdoor spaces here that people like to use.
Russa will continue selling coffee at Libby's Meat Market for the rest of November. He looks to also travel to local events sometime here in the near future.